Imagine an enemy so cunning, so insidious, that it operates not from the shadows outside your door, but from within the very core of your being. An adversary that knows your deepest desires, your most vulnerable fears, and weaponizes them against you with chilling precision. This isn't a fictional villain, nor some external force of nature. This enemy is far more intimate, far more pervasive, and utterly devastating because, for most of your life, you've been entirely unaware of its existence. It's the silent saboteur, the invisible architect of your own undoing, meticulously dismantling your dreams, eroding your relationships, and stifling your potential. For too long, we've been programmed to look outward for the sources of our struggles, bad luck, difficult circumstances, the actions of others. But what if the most formidable barrier to your happiness, success, and fulfillment isn't out there, but deeply embedded in your own unconscious patterns? These are not mere character flaws. They are deeply ingrained behaviors, often formed in childhood or in response to past traumas, that manifest as a relentless, automatic drive to undermine our own best interests. They are the subtle whispers of procrastination, the impulse to pick a fight, or the inexplicable urge to withdraw when opportunity knocks. The paradox is agonizing. We yearn for peace, yet we create chaos. We crave connection, yet we push people away. We strive for abundance, yet we cling to scarcity. Why does this happen? How can we, intelligent beings, consistently act against our own conscious desires? The answer lies in understanding the intricate dance between our conscious aspirations and our unconscious programming. Our minds develop protective mechanisms, coping strategies that, while useful in a past context, become destructive chains in the present. These self-defeating mechanisms dictate our reactions, shaping our decisions without explicit consent. In this journey, we will pull back the veil on these hidden forces. We will expose not one, but 6 distinct and pervasive behaviors that constitute the core of self-sabotage. From perfectionism that paralyzes progress, to procrastination that steals our time, and imposter syndrome that cripples our confidence. Each is a unique facet of this invisible enemy. We will delve into their profound psychological underpinnings, exploring not just what these behaviors are, but why they manifest, tracing their roots to fundamental human needs and fears. This illuminates pathways to understanding and liberation. The true power lies not in fighting an unknown foe, but in bringing it into the light. By understanding these 6 behaviors, you will gain the clarity to recognize them in your own life and, crucially, the tools to disarm them. This isn't merely an academic exercise. It's a profound invitation to reclaim your agency, to rewrite the script that has been unconsciously dictating your destiny. Prepare to confront the most significant obstacle to your true potential, not with fear, but with the empowering knowledge that the key to unlocking your fullest self has been within you all along. The question isn't whether you're sabotaging yourself, but how, and more importantly, how you can finally stop. We now turn to the first of these hidden saboteurs, paralyzing perfectionism. It's a relentless, often unconscious, pursuit of an unattainable ideal, a shadow that promises flawless results but delivers only stagnation and despair. This isn't about striving for excellence. It's the crippling fear of imperfection, a fear so profound it binds us, preventing us from ever truly beginning or finishing. We meticulously craft walls of not good enough, convinced that only absolute flawlessness can grant us worth or safety. This behavior, seemingly benign, subtly erodes our potential and steals our joy, all while whispering it's for our own good. It's the silent saboteur, demanding an impossible standard that ensures failure even before the first step. But where does this relentless demand for perfection originate? Often, its roots burrow deep into the fragile soil of childhood experiences. Perhaps it was the sting of a parent's disapproval, the subtle pressure to always excel to earn love, or the trauma of public failure that taught us imperfection was synonymous with unworthiness. We internalized a message: you must be perfect to be loved, to be accepted. This belief, forged in vulnerability, becomes an ironclad rule in adulthood, driving an incessant need to control outcomes, to avoid any perceived flaw. In its protective embrace, it suffocates our growth, trapping us in a cycle of self-imposed limitations and unending anxiety. The pursuit of perfection isn't just a goal, it's a deep-seated coping strategy. Consider its devastating impact on our careers. How many brilliant ideas remain unshared? How many innovative projects never launch? Because the fear of imperfection paralyzes us at the starting line. We procrastinate endlessly, caught in a loop of, it's not ready yet, constantly tweaking and refining, until the opportunity passes us by. Or perhaps we launch, but the moment any criticism surfaces, we retreat, convinced of our inherent inadequacy. The desire for a spotless record can lead to missed deadlines, over-engineering simple tasks, and an inability to delegate, fearing others won't meet our impossible standards. This isn't merely a delay, it's a direct assault on our professional trajectory, transforming potential into perpetual motion without progress. The emotional toll on our relationships is equally profound. Perfectionists often struggle with intimacy, as true connection demands vulnerability, the willingness to be seen, flaws and all. How can we truly be known when constantly striving for an impeccable facade? We might set impossibly high standards for partners, friends, or family, becoming overly critical, always finding fault. Anything less than perfect feels like a personal affront, creating distance, resentment, and misunderstanding. This fear of being less than ideal manifests as an inability to accept help or an aversion to spontaneous plans. The human messiness of connection becomes a source of anxiety, leaving us isolated in our flawless, yet lonely world. Ultimately, what does this obsessive perfectionism truly hide? It's often a desperate attempt to mask deeper insecurities, a profound fear of not being enough. Perfectionism isn't about achievement, it's about avoidance. Avoidance of judgment, failure, and the painful truth that our inherent worth isn't conditional on flawless execution. This behavior is a sophisticated shield, preventing us from confronting core wounds fueling our self-sabotage. What truly lies beneath this perfect veneer? If perfectionism erects an impenetrable fortress around our potential, then procrastination is the insidious swamp that slowly, imperceptibly drowns it. We often dismiss it as mere laziness, a lack of discipline, or a simple flaw in character. Yet, this superficial judgment misses the profound, often painful, truth beneath the surface. Procrastination is rarely just about avoiding a task. It's a complex dance with our deepest fears and insecurities, a silent negotiation with an unseen adversary within. It's the second insidious behavior, the swamp of waiting, a pervasive pattern that quietly siphons away our future, one delayed action at a time, leaving us stranded in a quagmire of unfulfilled potential. This isn't idleness, it's a sophisticated, albeit self-destructive, defense mechanism. Imagine it as an unconscious shield, deployed to protect us from perceived threats. The fear of success, for instance, can be terrifying. New responsibilities, the scrutiny with achievement, the pressure to maintain standards, or even the subtle discomfort of outshining others. Conversely, the fear of failure is equally paralyzing, validating our deepest self-doubts and reinforcing the belief that we're simply not good enough. Procrastination, in this light, becomes a perverse form of self-preservation, keeping us safe from the emotional fallout of either outcome by simply not playing the game. The internal landscape of a procrastinator is often a battleground of conflicting desires. There's the genuine aspiration to achieve, to create, to move forward, pitted against an invisible, yet overwhelmingly powerful resistance. This constant tug-of-war is profoundly exhausting, draining mental energy that could otherwise be channeled into productive action. We spend more time agonizing over the delay than it would take to actually complete the task, trapped in a cycle of rumination and self-reproach. The cost is immense: missed deadlines, squandered opportunities, strained relationships, and perhaps most tragically, the slow erosion of our own dreams and aspirations, left to wither in the ever-expanding later pile. This leads to a particularly insidious cycle. The more we procrastinate, the deeper the guilt and shame become. Each delayed task adds another layer of self-condemnation, reinforcing the very beliefs that fuel the procrastination. I'm not capable. I'm not good enough. I always fail. This internal narrative becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, creating a vicious loop where inaction breeds guilt, and guilt, in turn, fuels further inaction. We become prisoners of our own making, unable to break free from the invisible chains that bind us to the present moment, watching our future slip away, day by agonizing day, year after disheartening year. So, if it isn't merely laziness, if it's a sophisticated defense mechanism against success or failure, then what truly motivates this profound inertia? What deeply embedded beliefs, unaddressed traumas, unspoken fears are whispering in our ears, compelling us to choose stagnation over progress? This isn't a simple question with a straightforward answer. It's a complex psychological puzzle, a silent plea from a part of ourselves trying desperately to protect us, albeit in the most counterproductive ways imaginable. Understanding the true root of this swamp of waiting is the first step towards reclaiming the vibrant, active future we inherently deserve, but it demands an honest look into the shadows we've long ignored. While procrastination keeps us trapped in a cycle of inaction and guilt, often shielding us from perceived failures or overwhelming expectations, there's an even more insidious force at play, one that whispers constantly in the quiet corners of our minds. This isn't an external obstacle, it's an internal saboteur, a relentless judge of the silent voice of excessive self-criticism. It's the constant commentary telling us we're not good enough, not smart enough, not ready, even before we've had a chance to try. This internal dialogue, seemingly designed to protect us, actually becomes our greatest enemy, eroding our spirit from within. This pervasive inner critic doesn't just comment. It actively undermines every step we consider taking. It points out every potential flaw, magnifies past mistakes, and projects an image of inevitable failure onto our future endeavors. Think of the opportunities you've let slip by, the ideas you've never pursued, the conversations you've avoided, all because that voice convinced you that you weren't capable, that you'd make a fool of yourself, or that the effort simply wasn't worth the inevitable disappointment. It systematically dismantles our confidence, leaving us hesitant, paralyzed, and unwilling to step outside the perceived safety of our comfort zones. But where does this harsh internal dialogue originate? It rarely springs forth fully formed. More often than not, this critical voice is an echo, a distorted reflection of past experiences. It's the internalization of criticisms we received in childhood, the judgments from figures of authority, or the subtle messages of unworthiness absorbed from our environment. Perhaps you were told you weren't smart enough, pretty enough, or strong enough. These early, often painful, experiences of being devalued or feeling inadequate become the blueprint for our internal critic, shaping its vocabulary and its relentless accusations. It's a defense mechanism that, ironically, continues to inflict the very pain it was meant to prevent. The true danger lies in its unchallenged authority. Unlike external criticism, which we can debate or dismiss, the internal critic often operates with an almost unquestioned power. It feels like our truth, our inner wisdom, when in reality, it's a deeply ingrained pattern of thought, reinforced over years. This voice prevents us from taking calculated risks, from embracing new challenges, and ultimately, from discovering our true potential. It keeps us small, safe, and perpetually striving for an unattainable perfection, constantly whispering that we are inherently flawed and undeserving. It's a self-imposed prison, built on the foundations of past hurts and fears. This internal monologue, though powerful, is not an immutable part of who you are. It's a learned behavior, a habit of mind that can be unlearned. Understanding its origins, recognizing its patterns, and challenging its authority are the first crucial steps toward reclaiming your inner peace and confidence. We must ask ourselves, what exactly is this voice trying to protect us from, and at what cost? How do we begin to silence this relentless judge and replace its destructive whispers with a chorus of self-compassion and empowering belief? The journey to freedom from this internal prison begins with awareness. We've explored how self-criticism and procrastination keep us stuck. But what about the repetitive patterns in our most intimate connections? Why do we find ourselves drawn back to the same relationships, even when they've proven toxic, draining, or harmful? This isn't about conscious choice. It's a profound, often painful, dance with the familiar, even if that familiarity brings suffering. Unconsciously, we gravitate towards what echoes our past, believing it's love or connection when it's merely a reenactment of old wounds, a frustrating loop many find impossible to escape. The human psyche has a powerful, often bewildering, preference for the familiar. Our brains are wired for pattern recognition and repetition, even when those patterns are detrimental. Consider it a comfort zone built from past hurts and unresolved conflicts. A healthy, balanced relationship might feel alien, even boring, because it doesn't trigger the familiar emotional highs and lows, the drama, or the constant need to fix things we've associated with intimacy. We mistake intensity for passion, and the chaos of a toxic bond for genuine connection, simply because it feels like home. Central to this repetitive cycle are our attachment styles, forged in our earliest relationships with caregivers. If childhood experiences were marked by inconsistency, neglect, or conditional love, we might develop anxious, avoidant, or disorganized patterns. These styles then unconsciously dictate how we seek and respond to intimacy. An anxiously attached individual might constantly seek reassurance, tolerating mistreatment to avoid abandonment. An avoidant person might push away genuine closeness. We unwittingly seek partners, confirming deeply ingrained beliefs about ourselves, perpetuating the dynamics we dread. Beyond attachment, unhealed emotional wounds play a critical role. Perhaps you experienced a parent who was emotionally unavailable, or a partner who betrayed your trust. In subsequent relationships, there's often an unconscious drive to fix that original wound, to finally get the love, validation, or respect denied. We project these past needs onto new partners, hoping they will be the ones to heal us, to complete the unfinished business. This often leads us to choose partners mirroring the very qualities that caused the original pain, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of heartbreak. Recognizing these patterns is the crucial first step, a powerful act of self-awareness. It means acknowledging the problem isn't just bad luck, but a subconscious script you've been following. What echoes from your past in your current or most recent relationships? What familiar feelings arise? Understanding these roots is liberating, shifting power from unconscious compulsion to conscious choice. Breaking this loop requires courage, a willingness to sit with discomfort, and a commitment to choosing what is healthy, even if it feels unfamiliar. Have you noticed these patterns? Share your insights below as we prepare to discover how to break free. Yet, even as we navigate the treacherous waters of self-criticism and break free from the gravitational pull of toxic relationships, there's an even more insidious form of self-sabotage lurking in the shadows of our subconscious: the fear of success. It's a paradox, isn't it? We strive, we toil, we dream of reaching the pinnacle, only to find ourselves inexplicably pulling back, making choices that undermine our own ascent when the summit is finally within reach. This isn't about lacking ambition. It's about a deep, often unconscious, terror of what achieving that ambition might truly mean. It's the ultimate counterintuitive barrier, a wall built not by external forces, but by our own minds, precisely when the path ahead seems clearest. This fear isn't always overt. It rarely manifests as a conscious decision to fail. Instead, it's a quiet dread of the unknown that accompanies true achievement. Success often brings with it a fresh wave of responsibilities, a spotlight that can feel searingly hot, and the pressure to maintain a standard that suddenly feels impossibly high. What if we can't sustain it? What if we're exposed as an imposter at the peak of our game? The comfort of the struggle, the familiar narrative of striving, can be so deeply ingrained that the idea of that struggle ending, of simply being successful, feels like losing a part of ourselves. It's a fear of the next level, not because we don't want it, but because we doubt our capacity to truly inhabit it. Beyond the internal pressure, there's the external landscape that success inevitably alters. The fear of envy, of alienating old friends who might not understand your new reality, or even the subtle discomfort of being perceived differently. Stories abound of artists who create their masterpiece and then disappear, entrepreneurs who build empires only to dismantle them, or individuals who achieve profound personal goals and then retreat into obscurity. It's as if the very act of winning triggers an internal alarm, a signal that this new territory is dangerous. If any of this resonates with you, consider hitting the like button and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. This unconscious aversion to victory can also stem from a deep-seated belief about worthiness. Perhaps, in our formative years, success was met with criticism, or perhaps we learned that being too big or too bright drew negative attention. We might have internalized the message that true happiness lies in humility, or that standing out makes you a target. The idea of losing our identity in the glare of achievement, of becoming someone unrecognizable to ourselves or our loved ones, can be terrifying. So, without even realizing it, we create subtle obstacles, miss crucial opportunities, or make seemingly minor errors that ultimately prevent us from fully embracing our potential. Identifying the self-sabotage is the first, monumental step towards liberation. It requires a profound level of self-awareness, an honest look at patterns where you've inexplicably pulled back from the brink of triumph. Are you comfortable with the chase, but not with the catch? Do you find yourself creating drama or complications when things are going smoothly? The good news is that once recognized, this fear can be systematically dismantled. We can rewrite the script, not just for our relationships or self-talk, but for our very definition of success, transforming it from a source of anxiety into a wellspring of sustained growth and genuine fulfillment. But how do we truly pinpoint these elusive patterns, and what concrete steps can we take to reverse this deeply ingrained sabotage for success? And yet, as we navigate the treacherous waters of self-sabotage, whether it's in repeating toxic relationship patterns or unconsciously shying away from our own success, there lies another subtle, often lauded, but equally destructive behavior: the relentless, suffocating grip of control. We live in a world that celebrates meticulous planning and foresight, where being in control is synonymous with strength and competence. But what happens when this desire for order morphs into an obsessive need to orchees? Trait every single detail, every outcome, every emotion, not just in our own lives, but in the lives of those around us? This is the illusion of control, a gilded cage built from our deepest anxieties. This excessive need for control manifests in countless ways, often subtly at first, then growing into an all-consuming force. It's the inability to delegate, the constant micromanagement of projects and people, the rigid adherence to plans that leaves no room for spontaneity or the beautiful chaos of life. It's the friend who must plan every social gathering down to the minute, the partner who dictates every aspect of shared life, or the professional who can't trust colleagues to handle tasks without their constant oversight. At its core, this behavior is a desperate attempt to prevent perceived negative outcomes, a shield against vulnerability, a frantic dance to keep the unpredictable at bay. But the irony is profound. This incessant quest for control ultimately leads to a profound loss of control over one's own well-being. The constant vigilance required to maintain this illusion is exhausting, leading to chronic stress, burnout, and debilitating anxiety. Relationships fray under the weight of such scrutiny, transforming trust into suspicion and partnership into a power struggle. The individual becomes isolated, unable to adapt to life's inevitable twists and turns, because their carefully constructed world cannot accommodate deviation. This rigid mindset sabotages the very capacity for growth, resilience, and genuine connection. Behind this insatiable need often lies a history, a tapestry woven with threads of past powerlessness. Perhaps childhood experiences were marked by chaos, unpredictability, or a profound lack of safety, leaving deep psychological wounds. In an effort to never feel that vulnerable again, the subconscious mind constructs an elaborate defense mechanism. If I can control everything, I can prevent pain. This creates a false sense of security, a fragile fortress built on the shifting sands of external circumstances. The brain, in its primal drive to protect us, convinces us that absolute control is the path to safety, even as it simultaneously pushes away the very people and experiences that could offer true security and joy. To truly thrive, we must learn to distinguish between healthy planning and pathological control. We must confront the underlying fears that fuel this illusion and begin the arduous, yet liberating, process of surrender. It's about cultivating trust in ourselves, in others, and in the unfolding journey of life. Only by loosening our grip can we allow new possibilities to emerge, embrace adaptability, and discover the profound strength that comes from accepting what we cannot change. This journey of letting go, Much like breaking free from toxic patterns or embracing success, ultimately points to deeper, common roots that bind all these seemingly disparate behaviors together, roots we are now ready to unearth. We've dissected the intricate dance of self-sabotage, examining its various masks from procrastination and perfectionism to the insidious fear of success and the suffocating grip of control. But these behaviors, as frustrating and self-destructive as they appear, are rarely arbitrary acts of malice. Instead, they are often profound, persistent echoes of a past that continues to shape our present, even when we're unaware. The roots of our deepest patterns are not found in conscious choice, but in the fertile, often shadowed, ground of our subconscious mind, a place where old wounds and forgotten lessons reside. That relentless need for control, for instance, often doesn't stem from a desire to micromanage, but from a profound, perhaps pre-verbal, experience of powerlessness or chaos. When our world felt unpredictable, when trust was betrayed, or safety compromised, our minds, in an ingenious but ultimately limiting move, decided that absolute control was the only way to prevent future pain. These aren't conscious decisions. They are primal survival strategies forged in vulnerability, now playing out in contexts where they no longer serve, transforming from shields into shackles. Similarly, many of us carry a constellation of limiting beliefs, invisible chains binding our potential. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve good things. Success comes with a price I can't pay. These aren't truths. They are narratives adopted, often in childhood, from well-meaning but flawed caregivers, societal pressures, or traumatic events. A child told repeatedly they are clumsy might grow into an adult who unconsciously avoids opportunities requiring precision. Someone who witnessed the downfall of a successful family member might develop an unconscious fear of reaching their own peak, believing it invites disaster. These beliefs, once internalized, become silent architects, dictating our choices and framing our perceptions. The mind, in its infinite wisdom and sometimes misguided attempts to protect us, develops an array of defense mechanisms. What began as a necessary coping strategy can, over time, become maladaptive, sabotaging our growth and happiness. Procrastination, for example, might be a defense against the fear of failure, or even the fear of success and the pressure it brings. Perfectionism, while appearing as a drive for excellence, can be a desperate attempt to avoid criticism or rejection, rooted in a deep-seated belief that our inherent worth is tied to flawless performance. These mechanisms, once lifelines, become the very things that prevent us from truly living. Understanding this isn't about blaming our past. It's about illuminating the hidden forces that drive our current struggles. It's about recognizing that self-sabotage isn't a character flaw, but a misguided attempt by our unconscious mind to keep us safe, based on outdated maps. The key to unlocking true, sustainable change lies not in fighting these behaviors directly, but in gently unearthing and reevaluating the foundational beliefs and unresolved emotions that fuel them. Only by understanding the echo can we finally change the sound. The revelation of these deep-seated roots, these echoes from our past, can feel overwhelming. It might seem as if we are inextricably bound by invisible chains, destined to repeat the same self-defeating patterns. But here lies the profound truth, the pivot point for transformation. Understanding is not merely knowledge, it is power. The moment we shine a light on these unconscious mechanisms, we begin to dismantle their hold. The first, most crucial step in desvendando o no, untangling this intricate knot of self-sabotage, is the cultivation of radical self-awareness. It's about becoming the observer of your own mind, not just a passenger. This is where the unlearning truly begins, where the cycle finally finds a point of intervention. To achieve this level of self-awareness, we must commit to an ongoing practice of introspection. This isn't passive reflection, it's active investigation. Start by observing your thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations without judgment, particularly in moments when you feel triggered or on the verge of defaulting to an old pattern. What are the subtle cues? What narratives are playing in your head? Journaling can be an invaluable tool, a mirror reflecting your inner landscape. Mindfulness practices, even just a few minutes of focused breathing, create the necessary space between stimulus and response. This pause, this precious moment of conscious choice, is your first line of defense against the automatic pull of self-sabotage, allowing emotional intelligence to emerge. Emotional intelligence, then, becomes the compass guiding us through this newly observed terrain. It's the capacity not just to recognize our emotions, but to understand their origins, to label them accurately, and to manage them constructively. When anger flares or anxiety paralyzes, instead of reacting impulsively, we learn to ask, what is this emotion trying to tell me? What unmet need or unresolved wound from my past is it echoing? This isn't about suppressing feelings, but about acknowledging their validity while choosing a response that serves our highest good, rather than perpetuating the old, destructive cycles. It requires immense courage to sit with discomfort, but it's the only way to forge new, healthier neural pathways. Once we identify these emotional patterns, the next critical step is cognitive restructuring, actively challenging the limiting beliefs that fuel them. Remember those deeply ingrained narratives we discussed, the ones that whisper, "I'm not good enough," or "I don't deserve success"? These are not truths, they are learned perspectives. Question them relentlessly. Where is the evidence for this belief? Is there an alternative interpretation? What would I tell a friend in this situation? Consciously replace these disempowering thoughts with empowering, realistic ones. This isn't about positive thinking in a naive sense, but about cultivating a mindset rooted in truth and self-compassion, systematically dismantling the mental architecture of self-sabotage. Embracing this journey requires consistent effort, patience, and above all, self-compassion. It's not a linear path, but a dynamic process of learning, unlearning, and relearning. Each conscious choice to pause, to question, to reframe, is a brick laid in the foundation of a new narrative, one where you are the architect of your destiny, not a prisoner of your past. The power to break free from these cycles resides within you, waiting to be unleashed. The transformation is not just possible, it is within reach. The journey we've undertaken, peeling back layers of habit and belief, has brought us to this precipice of profound realization. We've unmasked the invisible adversary, not as an external force, but as an intricate part of our own internal landscape, a misguided protector, a shadow self born from past wounds and fears. It's the voice that whispers doubts, the impulse that diverts us from our highest good, all in a desperate, albeit clumsy, attempt to keep us safe from perceived threats. But now, armed with awareness, we stand at a crossroads where this very force can be transmuted. This isn't a battle to be won by brute force, but a dance of understanding and integration. The self-sabotage, once a relentless foe, can become a vigilant guide. By acknowledging its protective intent, we can begin to re-educate it, showing it new, healthier ways to ensure our well-being. It's about gently retraining the unconscious mind, replacing old, destructive scripts with narratives of self-compassion, resilience, and intentional growth. This transformation allows us to harness that immense internal energy, redirecting it from self-destruction to self-creation, turning our deepest vulnerabilities into our greatest strengths. The true power, therefore, has always resided within you. You are not merely a passenger in your own life. You are the architect, the cartographer of your destiny. Every choice, every conscious breath, every moment of self-awareness is a stroke of the pen, rewriting the script of your future. To reclaim your life is to reclaim your agency, to understand that while external circumstances may sway, your internal compass remains yours to calibrate. It's about stepping into that power, not with arrogance, but with the quiet confidence of someone who has faced their shadows and chosen light. Imagine a life where your actions align seamlessly with your deepest aspirations, where your inner dialogue is one of encouragement, not critique. This isn't a utopian fantasy, but an attainable reality built brick by brick, choice by choice. The path forward is not always easy. It demands courage, consistency, and an unwavering commitment to yourself. But the rewards are immeasurable: authentic joy, profound peace, and the exhilarating freedom of living a life fully expressed, unburdened by the chains of past patterns. This awakening is an ongoing process, a continuous evolution, inviting you to constantly explore, grow, and redefine what's possible. This is your moment to choose, to step away from the echoes of what was, and embrace the symphony of what can be. The journey of transforming self-sabotage into self-mastery is perhaps the most vital quest you will ever undertake. And it begins now. If this message resonated deeply, if you're ready to take the next step in this profound transformation, hit that like button, share your insights in the comments below, and subscribe to join a community dedicated to unlocking their full potential. Don't miss our next video, where we'll delve into specific daily practices to solidify these shifts. Your empowered future awaits.